Welcome to Geeks Corner, Coronado Springs edition.
Ooh.
I'm Mr. Daps.
And I'm Caitie. We could call it Geeks Coronado.
And that's our artwork.
I love it.
And it's one of three pieces that show that this is indeed a Disney resort in this hotel. It's different because we are live from Walt Disney World tonight, and this is an interesting hotel. I love it. I also kind of wish there was more Disney to it.
I agree.
Like, it's beautiful. It's very comfortable. I feel like I'm in Arizona or something.
Yeah.
I just kind of wish there was a little, like, hidden Mickey somewhere. Something.
When I stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, there was like hints of Tiana, but it didn't feel
Oh, when I stayed over there, I was in like a full, like, here's shower curtains with Tiana, and like it was full on. Anyway, this week has been a very busy week, but before we get into it, what should people do, Caitie?
Let's see if I can remember how to do this.
You can do this. I have faith in you.
Should subscribe to this channel where you are watching us, youtube.com/Daps Magic. We're on the road to 100,000. Be a part of the history. You should go to patreon.com/Daps Magic. It'd also be fun if there was 100,000 of you, but we're not even close to that.
Someday.
It's okay. And then also you should go into the comments of this show and you should leave something fun for comments.
Which we're not doing tonight because we can't actually see the comments. Because our setup is very different than normal. We're running things off an iPad tonight, which is over here. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry. It's to my left. There's no desk.
Off camera.
There's no desk. And the camera and the microphones are going through an iPhone on a monopod, which is standing in front of us.
It's not a solo cup, but...
True. We've moved up in the world. I'm not entirely sure they'd let us into the park with this. Otherwise, we might be filming this in the park tonight.
Yeah.
But it's kind of in that gray zone. It's not a selfie stick.
We were sitting in Japan tonight. We were like, man, if we could record this here, we would.
But it has been a fantastically busy weekend here at Walt Disney World. I flew in on Wednesday night very late. Weather was not my friend.
No.
So I landed at like 11. It was actually a little bit before 11. Then it took a while to get from the plane to the gate, or from the land.
Because things were delayed, the gate wasn't ready.
All of the planes were showing up in Orlando at the same time, so that took forever. Then finally get off the plane. Great. I was actually the third bag to get off the plane. Like, I was like, look at this, my bag.
It's exciting.
And then Lyft dropped me 6 times. Six. It was about 6.
It was a long time.
So I get the car, and it's like, oh, we'll let you know what car you're gonna have in 1 to 5 minutes, and then every time. And then it count down. It's like 1 to 3 minutes, and then 1 minute, and then in just a few seconds. And I'm like, oh great, we got this. We're gonna go.
Then go.
And then suddenly nothing. So then I have to do it again, and then again, and again.
Which is.
I got here at 1:30 on Thursday night. I had to be at a media event at 8 o'clock the next morning. Which I did make, thankfully.
You also hadn't eaten that whole day.
I also did not get to eat that day. I had a sandwich in Dallas. Yeah. And if I had known how things would go, I would have bought another sandwich to take home for dinner.
True.
By the time I got here, there was nothing open at the resort. And at 1:30, you don't want to wait for Uber Eats. So gave up on that. Just went to bed, whatever. So the next day was technically the first day of Destination D23. But really, it was almost like a pre-day to Destination D23 because there's no panels, there's no, like, you're not in the big room for Destination D23. But there was shopping. There was some media opportunities. We got to see the archives exhibit, and we got to have lunch as a media group with Jodi Benson, which Disney Legend Jodi Benson, I should say. We're having lunch. Michael Vargo's like, hey, this is what's going on this weekend. Here's what you need to know. I've got a special friend coming. Doesn't say who special friend is. And then when he gets to the right moment, Jodi Benson walks in the room. And
the texts I was getting while I was clocked in
very excited
at my job, I thought something terrible happened.
No.
It was so like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I was like, what happened?
There's only one, but anyway, so she walks in the room and she talks about how excited she is because she's now D23, their fan ambassador. And that's going to be leading up to D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, next August. If you're not going, start thinking about it. It's very fun. It's a little bit frantic, but it's great to go to.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's frantic fun.
Yeah, it is. You'll be exhausted after, but totally worth it. So then she's talking about that kind of stuff, and then she talks about how she hasn't gotten any sleep this week because she did the world or what Disney Princess Week thing.
The World Princess Week.
Yes, at Disneyland, which they filmed a thing that's already on YouTube. It's coming up on Disney Plus very soon. Then she flew out to Walt Disney World, and she's like, I think this is the first time I've done Disneyland and Disney World within like however much time. And she's caffeine's my friend, is she kept repeating. And
me too, Jodi.
While she's talking about this, she's making eye contact with literally every person in the room, which blew my mind. Like literally, she was talking to you, she was talking to you, she was talking to you. Like it was, incredible.
All these people think I'm talking to them.
She really was just talking to you.
I'm just talking to
you. But the other thing she brought up is like every day she wakes up and she's like, how can I make the world a better place, be kind to people, make them feel heard. And it really was impressive because when you meet her and when you see her, and even when you're in an event with her, she really does that at every level, whether it's you and her one-on-one, a group of 35, which we had at lunch, or 4,000, which we had at D23. She really effectively does that, and that's a gift, and I think it's really impressive. So she talks for a few minutes, she says what she's excited about, amazing, and then she's like, and would you all like a picture? And my initial thought is like, oh, group picture, very cool. But no, she literally let each one of us go up and have a couple seconds with her, minutes with her, whatever, take an individual picture with her, and she was just there for that. Like she was there for you, she was there for whoever was next, and very sweet, very kind, and really a example of what everybody should be as a person. So that was one of the highlights, I think, of day one of Destination D23. Then we got to see the archives exhibit, which is really how does Walt Disney Imagineering develop projects from research to development to production, or I guess making models to production and actually building up everything. And that was super cool. Got to see some different levels of the progress, I guess, of these things, whether it was pictures, whether it was as I'm standing here having just gotten out of Epcot, I'm thinking of the top of the tower in Italy. They have that gold figurine that you see and you walk by every time you go through. And they had the original one that they just took off the top very recently and replaced in this room. And that was pretty cool. And they had like Jungle Cruise outfits from the movie and models. As I'm thinking of this, the Lion King attraction that's coming to Disneyland Paris, they had a model for that. And then they also had a model for Epcot, a couple of models of Epcot, actually. Three.
I love Epcot.
And Norway, Germany, and then the Millennial Village. But very cool stuff. And we got to check all of that out, and we got time by ourselves to explore all of that. And they also had the village from the last Pirates of the Caribbean in Shanghai, and that was pretty cool too, among other things. And we've got all that up on our YouTube and on dapsmagic.com. You can check it out with a lot of pictures. It's great. That was the main part of day one of Destination D23. Then in the evening, we were taken over to, well, Mouse Steps drove me over to, which was very nice of them. Jeff and I got to go to the Beacon Barrel.
Yeah.
And we got an hour in there. I will say they went from Oga's to the Beacon Barrel. Like everything you love about Oga's, they took to the next level and made it piratey. And it's a blast. How do I put it? Like you see the video of the parrot. I was like, okay, it's a parrot. It's cute. Like I wasn't blown away by the parrot. But you get in the room, you see literally all of these details, Easter eggs. I'm not going to get into all of them here because that would spoil things for when you go. But look, there are references to the movies and the attraction throughout the pub, I guess it is.
Tavern.
There we go.
Tavern.
But the cast and the parrot interact in such a fun and magical way. Like it's kind of like being in, I don't even know where else it's like, because like the parrot says something and I'm, what's his name, Rummy? And like the entire cast is like, yo ho! And like it feels like you could be on a pirate ship or you could be in Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's hilarious, it's funny, and the food and the drinks were good, but the atmosphere is so incredible that I was just like, oh, this is Disney through and through. And I would not be surprised if this becomes one of the hardest reservations to get at the Walt Disney World Resort, just because it's such an immersive, fun experience. And you only get 45 minutes in there and you could spend hours because there's, yes, the environment and the experience, but going around in like maps and treasure chests and game boards and a bed that might reference to something that I'm not going to say. Like there's so much in there as you're going around. You could just spend plenty of time digging into that. This was followed by, because why would you just do one thing in one night? Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
And like when you say followed by,
literally we walked out the door and we're like, we got to get to that parade.
it's really not so scary.
Yeah, so we went to Boo to You. Jeff and I raced down to Main Street so we beat the other end of the parade and hopefully beat it. We just barely beat the Headless Horseman, which kind of a big deal. Like
Yeah.
I almost feel like he's the highlight of the parade, but the parade was awesome too. It did connect to Beacon Barrel because Captain Barbossa and Captain Jack Sparrow are in it. Very fun. I'd forgotten he was in there, or they were in there.
Who else did you see in the Boo to You parade?
Who?
Who did I get sent a picture of?
I don't actually remember at this.
Bowler hat guy.
Oh yeah, bowler hat. We got, yeah, you're right.
Mr. Gooby Goobian.
There was a reference to, yeah, that was great.
Gooby Goobian. And I did lose my marbles.
It was very cool. And today, Space Mountain with the clouds and everything looked like it was straight from there. So
I was very proud of him. I was like, oh, he knows Meet the Robinson.
I was there. It was very good. We also saw I'm forgetting the name, they were pirate band. They were so good though. Like they were kind of like,
I was like,
Billy Hill, but if they were pirates.
Yeah.
And
my head immediately went to the Bootstrappers at Disneyland.
No.
I know.
Now I'm never gonna get their names.
I know.
But
so sorry.
Super good, super fun. We'll have a video up probably in a week or two because I'm just gonna do them all on my computer when I get home because the iPad, well, not the iPad. I shouldn't blame the iPad.
Don't blame the iPad.
The internet here is not as fast as what I have at home. In fact, the fastest internet I've found so far was on the bus this morning. It's what it is.
Sad but true.
Sad but true. So we saw that. Great. Saw the fireworks, which was fantastic. Jack Skellington was amazing. We saw that Jack Skellington in the sing-along at Disney Jollywood Nights.
Yeah.
I will say,
scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
Even cooler though, in front of the castle. Because he walks out of the castle to you, and I was just blown away. Like I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And in my perfect world, take this Jack Skellington, get rid of the blow-up Jack Skellington in Disneyland.
Yep.
Somehow put this Jack Skellington, like I don't know where, because we don't have a stage at Disneyland.
He would make Halloween Screams.
Halloween Screams would be so, like you could do, I don't know how this would work, but it would be amazing.
So in my perfect world, and this isn't feasible, and that's okay.
Just walk out of the castle?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. In my perfect world, he King Kongs the castle.
Climbs up the outside.
Yeah. And like he's hanging on to like a spire.
That would be a whole new level of technology. That would be awesome.
It's not doable. And I recognize that. Well, it's not doable currently.
So we think. Maybe it is.
It was him thinking things. That's scary.
But it was awesome. Like I loved it. It was a fun show. It was great. Then we ran around and we tried to watch the Hocus Pocus show, but it was super humid. There'd been a thunderstorm a couple hours before. And so we got the rain version first. And that's basically them saying, I'll put a spell on you and bring all the villains out. Then they tried to do the whole show again. So I've got 10 minutes of the show, and then they're like, and they all disappear. And then it went back to, I'll put a spell on you. And so I haven't actually seen the whole show. I will say after this Halloween party, I would like to.
Yeah.
Like,
Good.
I was very impressed. It was also interesting comparing Mickey's Not So Scary with Oogie Boogie, because Oogie Boogie, I think, has superior character interactions. Like, you can go through the treat trails, and that's awesome. This one, I think, has superior entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, the parade was better. Hocus Pocus is amazing. Like, I wish there was a place and a way to do that. And like, it was the pirate band also. Like, there was just so much to do and to see. And so even though I was planning on leaving early, we ended up closing that out. And like, 2 thumbs up for this. I was very impressed. Like, I see why, as we were leaving Magic Kingdom tonight, the lines were like,
Oh yeah.
like,
I
it
would
was
like
insane.
to go someday.
Let's put that on the list for someday. So anyway, that was day one, Destination D23.
Just day one.
Yeah, day 2 and day 3, we're gonna combine together because we're gonna run out of time otherwise.
I know.
But from what you saw of coverage
Yes.
from us and others, what were the things that jumped out to you that you were super excited about with Destination D23? And then I'll talk what I was excited about.
Castle.
Let's start with that. What was the castle thing?
Cinderella Castle is being restored.
I
know.
A thing. I was gonna lean on my. I'm like, oh, that's really low.
Cinderella Castle is being restored to its original paint scheme, so the traditional
kind of
white and blue. Yes, not restored to its original, but it is going back to that color palette.
It's being inspired by that.
Yes, which I am very excited for. I think the pink has faded a lot.
Surprisingly so.
Yeah, like seeing it in person today, I was like, oh man, because in my
almost a taupe.
In my memory, it's that big, like, rosy pink. And I love pink. Pink's my favorite color. And I was a little bit thrown off because I was like, oh, it's barely even pink anymore.
But the blue's still there.
But the blue is still there.
The roofing is fantastic.
I'm very excited. The only thing is that I hope it doesn't look exactly like Tokyo.
So I don't think it will.
Okay.
Because they also said it's going to have gold.
Okay.
Like, it looks like they're trying to take the best of both and enhance it even more.
This is like my weird thing is I'm like, if it's Cinderella Castle, it should be Cinderella Castle. When I watch the movie Cinderella, I should go, oh wow, that looks like where I go in Magic Kingdom. Which, just take what I'm saying, but then when you think about Disneyland Park, just never touch that castle. So thank you so much, because Disneyland Paris did get it correct.
Ish.
Don't talk about
inspired by
Disneyland. Yeah. But I'm like, if it's Cinderella Castle, it should be Cinderella Castle. So I think that this is the correct move, just from when I sit down and watch Cinderella, I'm like, whoa, there it is. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm trying to think of what else stood out to me, really. What were some of the big things that happened to Destination D23?
Well, one of my favorite things, I should say, was not newsworthy at all.
Okay.
Other than there were bagpipes.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes.
So they did a segment from the Walt Disney Archives, and basically the culmination of this is Becky Klein, the director of the Walt Disney Archives, walks out with a bed knob, and they do a little bit from Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, and it's very cute. Then she runs away, and then they're like, hey, I hear thunder, which it was actually thundering in the moment, so that made it kind of even funnier. But then you hear bass drums, and this bagpipe band comes out, and they play the song from Bed Knobs and Broomsticks as kind of that fight song at the end. And that was impressive. And then they talked to them, and then they also played the Portobello Road bagpipe song, which was also awesome. And then Becky Klein comes out looking like Angela Lansbury with the sword and the flying broom, or the magical broom. And so then she leads the the bagpipe band out, and that was such a fun and magical moment, and I loved that. Like, I thought that was very fun. So that one stands out to me a lot. I really liked they had multiple moments with some of the Disney legends that also happened to be Broadway stars. So they're like the Disney villains. There was a medley. There was a 80s and 90s Disney concert that was incredible. We'll have that up at some point. I did have it rendered on the iPad, but then I realized I could do better with the computer, so that will be coming at a later date, probably in a week or two. But
And also, Keith from the Try Guys was there.
Keith from the Try Guys was there. I will say this though, his segment, they did some of the drinks that are coming to the Disney Destiny, and one of them you touch the one of them levitates. Awesome. Might be the same one. You touch the side after they finish it, and lightning bolts go through it. You know how like the ball where you put your hand on it? And
yeah.
It was like that. It was so incredible. And I went from being like, oh, that looks like a fun ship to go check out the Sanctum and I think it's Casting Cannon for the Pirates band, and then they have the Haunted Mansion Parlor. But this is in the Sanctum, and literally he touched the side of the cup with his drink, and lightning bolts went up, and I was just like, oh, I'm on board. Like I'm not on board, but I would love to.
Other thing that looks really great about the Disney Destiny is Dr. Facilier.
Yeah, very cool.
Doing like magic
tricks. Yeah.
Like that is so cool. But yeah, no, it was very funny. Mr. Daps clearly very, very busy for Destination D23. And at one point somebody sends a picture and was like, what is Keith from the Try Guys doing at Destination D23? And I was like, Mr. Daps probably didn't say anything because he didn't know what was going on. And in his defense,
I
did know what was going on. Once he started talking. He did not know his face. Wasn't that what it was? You said you wouldn't have recognized his face.
I wouldn't have recognized his face, but they said who he was, and I knew who he was. Like, because, But, I really enjoyed that segment. I thought it was a lot of fun. And there's another big announcement from this weekend that I'm totally spacing. This is the problem with all of my note-taking things being utilized to run this stream, is I can't be like, oh, yeah.
And you're probably yelling at us, and we can't see the comments.
It's so true. We're going to do this. Sorry, I'm going to look to the side and see what we have. We'll see if this works. Hopefully, we're still streaming.
Frozen.
World of Frozen's opening next year. That kind of
the Disneyland dock.
The Disneyland dock.
Oh, Carousel of Progress.
That's it. Walt Disney. Thank you. So Walt Disney is joining the Carousel of Progress. It looks like from younger Walt Disney, it looks like it'll be happening at the first scene. We went on Carousel of Progress today. So if I had to make a guess, first scene
where the cog thing is.
Yeah, the cog and all of the...
And it's just a disembodied voice.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see what they choose to use for him to introduce it, which I think there's lots of opportunities for this because he kind of introduced Florida a lot. Like there's a lot of things they can do with that, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And then they're going to enhance the show, I assume, also. And I mean, they said enhancing the show, how much that means will be interesting. I think the big question mark to me is that last
I was going to say
Christmas
the last scene, yes.
Like, does that stay the same and then they like dial it in a little bit more and like back it off? Or do they try to, instead of just making it this span of time, do they expand the span of time, which could be interesting too.
I mean, I think it has to expand further because it is supposed to be, wouldn't it be so crazy if these things existed? And we're now in a world where most of those things exist.
Well, yes. But then also if you're having Walt, are you turning it into a historical thing instead of a true Tomorrowland thing? Because we have all those, I don't know, those metal things on Main Street now that are like the different, do you know what I'm talking about?
Historical
landmarks? The little landmark things. I'm like, what are those? But those are around Main Street. So they're clearly now okay with being like, hey, this is a historic landmark. We're going to
I mean,
say this is what it is.
I think if they were to, so there's either two schools of thought we could go here. One is we truly make it futuristic. We're like, let me imagine what technology could be like in the future. The other thing is, or the other school of thought is that they are very clear at the beginning of Carousel of Progress in the first scene that we are right at the beginning of the turn of the century. We are going to cover
100 years.
100 years.
And that's where I was like, I kind of almost feel like you do that.
So you reinvent it and you just make it 90s.
Which could be really fun.
I think would be fun.
I think it'd be great. Like, I'm all for that, actually. But who knows? Like, I think either way could work very well. What do you think of Walt Disney being added to this attraction?
I think it's great. I think that 4.5 minutes is the perfect length for the Walt Disney animatronic.
It's about what it is.
It's about what it is at Disneyland right now. I think it's going to be very special to see that era of Walt Disney represented in animatronic. It's not super far off from the Walt Disney.
I was like, it'll be interesting to see if there's a huge difference other than clothing.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of think there might not be.
Because that's not a super huge difference age-wise for Walt Disney from those two eras in his life. But I'm excited to see it. I also think that, like...
Do you suppose the big difference will be in his voice? Like,
yes.
We're pulling from this era of his voice, and so we're going to say he's this old...
I also just think that the other thing that's very special, and yes, I am a Disneyland person. Yes, I'm like, Walt walked here. There is something so special about the way Walt Disney talks about Magic Kingdom. And
you mean Walt Disney World? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, like when he was talking about the creation of these two parks and the blessing of space and what they could do. And like, I just think that to me, yes, Disneyland was like doing the impossible, but Walt Disney World was furthering the impossible and having so much fun. Like, okay, proof of concept, it works. But how far can we put it? Like, it's when you get a really fast car and you're like, how fast can I make this go? And so I think that that's going to be a really exciting thing. And it is such a well-documented part of Walt Disney's life, was talking about the Florida Project and talking about all these things. And so I'm super excited to see what they do.
And it'll be interesting to see if because it's newer audio potential, like more accessible audio, I guess you could say. It'll be interesting to see if he sounds different, a little more clear, crisp, a little bit more modern. Like, I would love them to scrub all of this through the Peter Jackson stuff they've been using for the Beatles and be like, oh, what can you do then? Like, he sound like he's in the room as opposed to, like, I think
a recording.
Yeah, like, or through a microphone.
Yeah,
because I think right now he kind of sounds like the microphone of the era. Like, he's got the right feel for where he's at. But what if you made him sound like he was in the room today?
I was actually thinking, if we got the Peter Jackson restoration, the Now and Then Beatles technology,
or Get Back, like they did it there.
Yeah. But the Now and Then technology is really pretty crazy, because they restored tracks that were like practically unusable for 30 years, and they were like, oh, we're able to isolate things and do all this crazy stuff. And I think that would be some really mind-blowing technology, because none of us will have ever heard Walt Disney in that way, ever.
Other than Buck or
Floyd
Norman and
I meant like
no, I was just thinking
us park guests.
But like, don't you think for them
that would be,
if they would hear it as the Walt that they knew, be like, oh, like that would be a home run, I feel like.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think that'd be incredible. So yeah, those were two big things. We also got some like look at Walt and El Grupo through the years, which was fun, from the Walt Disney Archives.
Villains Land stuff.
We got some Villains Land stuff. We got some like Andreas Deja is working on this. I think that's great. We also got to look at Disney Channel through the years, which was a lot. That was just a fun conversation. Like, there's nothing that was like breaking news necessarily, but like a lot of the weekend was really like deep cuts for Disney fans. That was really heartwarming, I guess is the best word to use. And I really feel like D23 is kind of reaching this momentum of like, hey, we've connected with our fans in a way that we know what they really want. And now we're starting to cultivate that in a way that's really connecting with them, like in ways that they've always connected it decently, but I feel like they've reached a new high with this event than other over the years. And that makes D23 next year that much more exciting, because you think of how incredible it was last year. And I feel like last year was a lot of learning, because it's like, oh, we're doing Honda Center now. Let's see how this works.
Yeah.
What can we do better? Like, there was, and coming out of a pandemic still, like, there's lots going on. And I think that sets things up in a very exciting place for what comes next. Like, next year, we will most likely be hearing from whoever's going to be the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company. We'll probably know that in the next few months, which blows my mind.
That's crazy.
And as Disney kind of skyrockets to the future, I think D23 is doing a really good job of holding on to the past and grounding the excitement of the future with the foundation of the past. And that's an exciting thing to see and a fun thing to see. And it's just in good hands, you can see with D23 right now, where they really do, like, they're not just doing this for Disney fans, they're doing this as Disney fans, and you can hear the love and see the love as you go around and see all the people that run D23 and Destination D23 and D23, the ultimate Disney fan event. Whew, yes, exactly. But we are starting to run out of time for tonight, looks like. So, Katie, what should people do? We can go for another hour, but we're not going to.
You should go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens, especially right now. This is a really good time to subscribe to our mailing list because there is so much happening all the time. Events like these are super fun. So you should also go to our Patreon for patreon.com/dapsmagic. Patreon members are getting some pretty exclusive park content this week. So I don't want to brag or anything, but Patreon's a pretty cool place to be.
Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of videos going up. We will have even more going up once we get back to California and we can upload all the videos that we're taking right now. We're getting as many as we can, but we also recognize it's not as quickly as we'd like it to be. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you round the corner.
Bye.